Hello there, welcome. Welcome to Art Jam today.
Greetings.
Greetings.
How's it going?
Going pretty good. Yourself?
Good. I'm waiting on Unreal because I just realized I was taking for a load. I'm on a different box than I was on ArtJam last week.
Oh, yeah.
And so since the
That'll...
project got moved to a different computer, it's having to compile all the shaders and build all the mesh distance fields. So I'll share my screen once it's done because right now it just looks like a bunch of flashing nothing.
Yeah, it's just
yeah,
doing its thing.
I'm loading. But how are
That's
you?
Cool. Doing good. Just kind of getting into an older project or older-ish project. I've been experimenting with the scan store stuff that we were playing with and some marmoset stuff, but it's not really ready to show yet. So I'm going to go back to an older project. I'm working on my dragon that I've worked on several streams before. This is not the layout I want. So I actually ended up doing, this is kind of the textural detail that I had gotten to before, but I did do a little bit more painting on it. So I started kind of dialing it in, putting in some purples and getting that in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting there.
But the sculpting looks really cool.
Yeah, I want to add some more. I ruined some of the scales here intentionally, so I'm trying to create some more big patterns. And I think that once I get that done, I think I'll just kind of focus on some painting and doing it to the rest of the body as I'm kind of figuring out what the style of the scales and everything is. Because I had these lines that kind of have this I don't know what this chevron pattern is.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of liked how that was looking. So now I'm going to probably incorporate that more into the body and just kind of more of a graphical shape where it's kind of going up and over and almost mirroring these horn shapes. I'm going to keep playing with that, but I'm trying to figure out now how I'll incorporate it in other parts of the body or what I'm going to do. But I'm feeling good about this part of it. So
yeah, that looks like the part that you've worked the most on.
That's the part I've worked on. So
that's how it goes. But that part looks cool.
Yeah, I'm getting...
Do you even have to do the whole body? You can just do an illustration just with
the head.
That.
I definitely thought about it. I was like, I guess I could just do this thing where it's all it's not in perspective. Is it? Oh, it is. This is all in focus and this is out of focus, but I'm close. I'm close to it. So yeah.
Well, cool. And how's your week been?
The week's been good. It's been busy. We've had a lot of events and a lot of streams. So I streamed yesterday for Archetype. Had Jared Morantz on, which was fun. And then we had our Monday stream where we had the making of Namu, which is a really beautiful film done by Baobab Studios. It was actually made in Quill, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, there was a speaker at THU a couple years ago who was doing stuff like that in Quill. I forget his name, but he was doing really cool stuff. So the whole short was made in Quill?
Mm-hmm.
How long is the short?
12 minutes.
Okay. Is it very cartoony?
Yeah, super stylized. It's very, very stylized.
Okay.
So that was a fun one. And then today, and then I taught on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yesterday as well. So it's been a busy week, but it's been nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I watched Jared and Matt last night just because it's, chill, just listening to them chat in the background. But, Jared's almost done with his Thanksgiving turkey monster.
Oh, nice.
Super creepy looking.
Yeah, I was checking it out today and saw some of the renders he was getting to and starting to do some paint over stuff, which is cool.
This scene is just taking forever to load. So I'll just chit-chat with you while I wait on this.
Sounds good.
But have you watched anything?
Recently? Let's see. We watched Elf, classic, or I guess now a classic Christmas movie for us.
Yeah.
I started watching the making of Elf from the movies that made us.
Yeah, I watched that.
I'm not all the way through though, so it's been interesting.
So yeah, it's funny. Those are great little documentaries.
I started watching, but it was too late, and we couldn't finish it. But Pig, we started watching Pig,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really good. But I
How
was
did you
like,
start it and not finish it?
I was way too tired to. I was like, okay, I need to like really watch this movie. Like we only watched like 15 minutes of it, and I was like,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
like
All right.
I'm not gonna make it through this movie. So,
I loved Pig.
yeah, you
I
said
thought
that.
it
That's why
was so good. Yeah.
so far it's been great.
But Moran or Krachevsky isn't sure about it, but Matt really liked it.
Okay.
They said last night. But yeah, no, it's I'm definitely a fan.
Yeah, I wanna finish it. Let's see if we've watched anything else. We finished Arcane.
Yeah, we did too. God damn, that show is freaking amazing.
It's a good one.
I mean,
Uh,
seriously,
it's super good.
it's unlike. I mean, I've seen a fair share of animation, and god damn, is it cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just the art direction and the styling and the graphics and the performances and just the environment design, the production design, the lighting, the texturing. It's just like
Yeah, everything is beautiful.
I will be rewatching that
Yeah.
like multiple times. I have a feeling. So yeah, it's cool. It's I'm curious if if they'll ever do a making of type of event. There's some making stuff on YouTube, but it's
Mm.
pretty short.
Oh, really?
I'm just curious about their workflow for, texturing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's all clearly seems to be hand painted, or just like how they did everything would be very. I'd be very curious to hear.
Yeah.
Adding some texture to these little scales here. Get some stuff going. Yeah.
My Unreal project says it's only at 14% after all this time.
It's been like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Crazy.
It's weird. Yeah, it's obviously I don't know enough about what's going on under the hood, but it just seems like, whenever you or launch an Unreal project, that's a big project or not a big project, but has a lot of stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time on a computer, it takes forever, and then it'll open the second time really quickly. Like I opened the what did I open the other day? Like this. Oh, there's that like park scene in Unreal, that city park.
Mm-hmm.
And I
The
opened
big
it up
one,
just because
yeah.
I wanted to look around to see if there was any useful trees in there.
Mm-hmm.
It took an hour to load.
Wow, that's so
Uh,
long.
I know.
An
And then like
hour.
the medieval village, the Quixel one, I loaded that last
Yeah.
week too. Also just seeing if there was any like trees or fire or anything I could grab.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing, that one took, I think, like over an hour, like an hour and a half to load. But that's only like the first time on a box. And so since I have like 3 computers I use.
Oh yeah, you're experiencing it 3 times.
Yeah. So hello, Poland.
From
So
Poland. Hello.
spring, thank you. Oh, and Shok said sick video on a reel. Thank you for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Poland is probably very cold
Oh, it's got to be freezing.
because it's starting to get cold here. It's going to be 50 here tomorrow as the high.
I like that you said it's gonna be 50 and that's cold, and I'm imagining in Poland it's just like sub-zero.
50 is freezing. Basically anything where like I have to put on jeans is like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. All right, it's cold now.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It actually rained here yesterday out in Joshua Tree.
It did. Oh, I forgot you're in. Yeah, you're in JT. It rained a little
Yeah.
here as well.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
It was very little. I mean, it was maybe, sprinkled for like an hour. Enough to like have a couple puddles. Tunisia. Hello, Tunisia.
Wow, okay. Hello. Welcome to the stream.
All right. I am now Googling Tunisia because I'm not 100%. There we go. North Africa. Awesome. That's interesting that the first picture that shows up for Tunisia on Google is of a massive swimming pool.
All right. Video cards are too expensive. Should I get a laptop for 3D? Ooh, interesting question.
I would avoid it if you can.
Yeah.
I mean, graphics cards are expensive for sure, but laptops are generally more expensive than towers. So I don't know if it's like, saving money by going for a laptop, depending on what you're looking for. Because like those workstation laptops from like Alienware and Razer are really expensive, like $4,000. So, but yeah, graphics cards are stupidly expensive still.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I looked online just for like 1080s for Liz's nephew, just to see like, going like 2-3 years back what they're selling for. 1080s are still selling for like $700
What?
on eBay.
Why?
Because it's
You just can't
impossible to
get.
get cars. Yeah, like newer cars, like a 3080, like $2,000, 3090. It's anyway. We've talked about this before. It's annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, so as far as what you should get for 3D, I would definitely stick with a PC and avoid a Mac, and because you'll save a lot of money.
Yeah.
But laptops,
I mean, they're just generally not as powerful. So, like, if you want to do more bigger stuff.
yeah, 3D is so CPU, GPU intensive that it's just really worth getting as much as you can afford.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to say your name, Marie Tunje Varun. Cool name. I am not doing any mentorships or classes at the moment, so ArtJam is really the only thing that I'm doing. And so, but I'm always happy on ArtJam to talk about whatever, answer any questions. Hopefully I'll get, now that I'm like getting really into Unreal and making a lot of stuff, maybe I'll get back to teaching at Gnomon in the next year, I hope. Foffy Grimshaw. Aquarius jump note. A mini PC build could be a portable enough solution, kind of midway between a full desktop and a laptop. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I don't understand what's going on with my scene.
Yeah, it's taking a very long time. We did say
it's weird because it's not. Well, the thing is that the scene, so I have this Unreal project that I've shown on the last couple streams as I've been learning Unreal 5, switching to 5. And so I have all these different levels, remember, in this one project, like multiple scenes. So this project is bloating because I am working on different environments, but in the same Unreal project. And so I keep loading in, migrating things in here, loading more Megascan stuff in here. And so I think this project is just getting kind of big, and that's probably why it's taking so long to load.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is fine, my other computer, because everything's already, all the distance fields are calculated and everything. So didn't realize that was going to create an issue. So I apologize for that.
No worries.
But your sculpt looks cool, and we can all watch you sculpt a dragon head.
There we go. Are we all dual streaming on another platform? We're on YouTube as well, and we're on Facebook as well.
Let's see.
If that's what you're saying.
So yeah, this project directory that I'm loading.
How big is it?
That's not even that big. It's weird. It's only 40 gigs. Only
40 gigs.
Well, the funny thing is, like my project for the fellowship was 10 gigs when I finished the project, and I thought that was huge because a Maya project like rarely would ever hit 10 gigs. And so so this one is 40 gigs. The reason I said only is because I have another project I'm working on that's already at like 100 gigs.
Already.
Unreal
already, meaning there's a lot to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for that project, I'll make separate Unreal projects for each environment
Right, of course.
because it's I don't want this issue.
Right. It does seem to be one of the potential downfalls or downsides of that style of workflow. Just how long. Like if you're working on one box, it seems like it's probably fine.
Yeah.
But if you're bouncing around, just the time it might take to load it all up.
Yeah, it's, I mean, just, backing up everything so I can change offices
Mm-hmm.
takes forever because, like,
Yeah.
all the stuff I've downloaded in Bridge, for example, like, I
Mhm.
can't just selectively know which things to copy to my backup drive. So I just copy the entire Megascans Bridge folder from my drive to my backup drive to move it to another computer. And
Mhm.
my Megascans Bridge directory now is massive. So, like,
I'm sure.
so just copying that to my external just to bring it to another computer is,
Sounds like an ordeal.
yeah, I need to spend like a good 2 to 3 hours backing shit up when I need to change locations.
That's so much time.
I know it's a drag. I need to come up with a better solution.
Is there like
Do we use Gaia for environment work nowadays? I do not have a cloud solution for backup because I've got, so much stuff. I've got a 50 terabyte external array that's full of stuff, and so for me to, and that's my work drive. So I tend to rely on external arrays that are local as opposed to any kind of cloud stuff because the size of the files I'm dealing with are so big. So I do not use cloud backup. Like I use cloud backup for like my iPhone
Mhm.
on my, laptop. But like, for example, I don't use cloud backup with like my Mac laptop for like my photo library because I've got 20 years of photos on there. So if I turned on iCloud backup for my iPhoto library, it'd be, too big. It would be too expensive to maintain like the cloud plan.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so like a cloud solution is problematic because again, like if an Unreal project is 100 gigs, then it's a lot slower to upload that to the cloud and download it from the cloud than it is for me to copy to an external. F34RM4X. How is that meant to be said?
Which one?
There's an answer. Can't just be random.
It's Fear Max.
Fear Max. Okay.
Did I get it? Just
Gaia. I have not used Gaia. I use World Machine. But I really want to learn Gaia. I think Gaia looks amazing. I just haven't had time to get into it. We released a really cool Gaia title with Dax, who's the guy who creates Gaia. And we released that title like a month or two ago. So I really look forward to watching that. I'd really love to have Dax on the stream, actually. It'd be cool to watch him work with Gaia.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
We should actually write that down and reach out to him because he'd probably be down. So yeah, Gaia looks cool. I highly recommend. World Machine they have been upgrading World Machine and adding cool features. I think that's the nature of Gaia coming out, is it makes the World Machine people kind of like, speed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's great that Gaia came out. So I can't say if one's better than the other. Gaia has a much prettier interface than World Machine, that's for sure. And Dax is very active on social and showing all the new features he's developing for Gaia. So there's some really cool stuff he's been showing lately. Yeah, for sure. The adaptive mesh output, because that's something that looks really cool. And especially now with Nanite and Unreal, and to be able to have like really high polygon counts, and the fact that displacements are being deprecated, I think it's pretty cool that that seems to be a workflow that's coming, which I have a feeling is going to come to Quixel Mixer. Well, it's got to, just to be able to export Nanite so that you embed your displacements into the geo in Mixer.
Yeah, I think we'd have to. It's a good call. Or they have to do something, because it just doesn't make sense.
Aquarius jump. No, this made me remember the times we used rewritable CDs for backups. Oh my god, I remember that very well, dude. I still have
Yeah.
folders at
Like,
home. We just cleared out some stuff on the third floor, and I found like a couple folders full of CDRs.
oh, zip
Oh,
drives.
drives, dude. 100 megabytes, and it was amazing. There's so
And
much
like
space.
so much data. Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
never
we had a
use this much
drawer
space.
in the server room. Like we had like a cabinet that had a drawer in it that was full of dead zip drives because we had zip and jazz like for a while at Gnomon were what a lot of students were using to like back stuff up and move things around, and those zip drives would die constantly.
I didn't know that, really. They were that like fragile or whatever.
Oh yeah, they were, especially jazz. Like that, I think the jazz drive is kind of what killed Omega, because the zip was this huge runaway success, and then the jazz was just not well received, and other things kind of supplanted it.
Yeah, I don't even remember jazz. I definitely remember zip.
Exactly. It's Augusto. Hello, what's up? Yeah, CDR, CDRW, optical discs were a thing for a little while, but they were slow. The worst of all was what were they called? Was it
Mini disc?
DLT?
Oh, I don't know.
No, tape backup.
Oh.
That was really slow. But that was like, for a while, that was the only way you could get like 40 gigs of stuff onto a backup device.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a drag. Pyramid. Did anyone watch Life Beyond 3 by Melody Sheep? Like, that's something that was mentioned last week and I forgot to watch. Life Beyond 3 official trailer. I just watched a game trailer yesterday that was directed by Jonathan Berube.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, he's represented by Hydra now, which is the same place that represents Brian Goodrich, Gnomon grad, who was the director at Microsoft for all the Halo stuff for a while. And I think they also direct or represent Sava, the dude who made Irradiation, that Unreal short.
Okay. Yeah.
And so yeah, Berube is now represented by them and is directing game trailers.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool. I'm watching the Life Beyond official trailer right now, although it's playing back a little slow. Trailer looks cool. But yeah, the funny thing is, I follow Steve Corman as a matte painter on Instagram, and he shared a shot he did for that Berube game trailer, cool. And he mentioned it was directed by Berube, but Berube hasn't shared it. So
not yet.
Not yet, anyway. Melody Sheep has 2 million subscribers. What's Melody Sheep? I feel like I...
Melody Sheep?
I
don't know.
I guess it's a film that they're trying to get supported on Patreon, Life
Melody Sheep?
Beyond,
Oh, Life Beyond.
which is from Melody Sheep.
Oh, okay.
Melody Sheep is creating science videos and musical mashups. They have 1,000 patrons.
Huh.
Huh. Looks cool. Time lapse of the future. Is that from Melody Sheep? I've seen that.
Time lapse of the future. That sounds really familiar.
Yeah, Griffin showed it to me. It's
Hmm.
if this is the same one. Yeah, it's got 76 million views on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Journey to the End of Time.
So many views.
Okay, so I have seen something from Melody Sheep. Yeah, that video is amazingly cool. Melody Sheep is an independent filmmaker from DC. His work is Unreal Imagination Meets Science. That's cool. I need to. Am I logged in? Yeah. All right. I just subscribed to Melody Sheep. See, I'd seen the Time Lapse of the Future. I just didn't know he did other stuff. So I'll poke around his YouTube page. Thanks for pointing that out. It looks cool. F.A. Karakar. Kind of curious what Alex is thinking as he's working on an art piece, or do you think at all, or just let it flow? When I'm working on stuff in Art Jam, I'm usually doodling, which means I'm just letting it kind of just messing around. I think that was kind of the idea with Art Jam, was just to take a couple hours and see what happens without thinking too hard about it, and as opposed to trying to work on longer periods or pieces that take a long time. I think if I think I'm going to work on something for a while, I'll plan it out, like a regular professional project. But sometimes it's more fun to just doodle.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But most of the stuff I've done on ArtJam for the last few months has not had any like pre-planning. It's just kit bashing in a way and seeing what happens. And Unreal is awesome for that. So it was something that was always a little tough to do in Maya, just because of how slow rendering can be. So the big reason that I jumped into Unreal over the summer was the hope that it would make it faster to do environment stuff. And it definitely has. All right.
Yeah, it's just so fast. Is it still going?
5,000 shaders left to compile.
Does it at least have a countdown?
I mean, it shows how many shaders are left. And
okay.
He meant you, not me.
Oh, okay. With this piece, I am just trying to place things in a way that feels, I guess, natural. So kind of letting it flow and trying to find shapes. I'm also with a character or creature like this where you have a lot of detail that you're going to want to get to. You kind of, or at least I, will often just kind of experiment. And I like to kind of leave the experiment stuff on the model a lot of the time, meaning like I don't sit here and smooth it out every single time and then put on another piece of detail, because I find that personally it's a lot about layers. Like the more layers you can put into something, the better it'll look, as long as you have a pretty good foundation there. So I'm putting in, like for this part right here, what I was just doing, I think, which is when the question was asked. I'm putting in some texture, and then I'm going to go through and just kind of do the same thing with other textures. So I'll come through and say, maybe I like this one that's got some of these bigger patterns in it, and start overlaying that and seeing if some of those big shapes that it's creating allow for more shapes or patterns, and kind of not like relying on a happy accident, but also accepting that they'll probably be there. And so I often will just kind of start layering stuff up, and I'm just kind of looking for shapes, looking for things that are, going to be interesting or hopefully interesting. So just kind of going through the process, I guess, of finding something that's appealing. For a really, really long time, when I was starting out sculpting and starting out, I guess, doing 3D, I had a lot of trouble doing detail, like detail heavy pieces, putting on alphas on models and stuff like that. And so the way that I kind of overcame that, I guess, was just to not allow myself to undo or to go backwards, and to just, it's kind of like the blank page in like a piece of paper. Like if you're doing a doodle, like if you have pencil and you make your first mark, it's kind of easy to allow yourself to like erase that first mark and oops, I messed up, I'll start over. Oops, I start over. But if you start with a pen, you have to be more confident. And so I found that just kind of treating it in that way, where it's a lot more of just, not allowing myself to go backwards, is helpful for me. So yeah, I don't know if that really answers the question too much, but just slowly building it up, being aware of the whole model at once, and then bouncing back and forth. I bounce back and forth on stuff quite a bit. How's the dragon head looking? Body's looking awesome. Thank you. The head's getting there. It's kind of what I started on first, like detailing wise, and I'm starting to add some more elements over on this side over here as I move forward. It's getting there. And so now I'm trying to populate some of these ideas into the rest of the body. And so that's what I'm doing today, is just bringing this up. While we're here, I might as well save, right? Where it hurts. And then I'll load up the previous version or versions so you can kind of see where it came from. So this is, I guess, pre-today's work, and this is getting into today's work of adding on all these other little details and, just kind of pushing it forward.
Do you use layers often?
I don't, actually. I've had a lot of trouble with the layer system. And they also make your files really big.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Especially with painting. Initially, when they came out, I haven't used them or even attempted in a long time. The painting with layers was really awkward. Like sometimes it would cause errors or get stuck in like certain parts of it, or it just wasn't as refined as like, a Photoshop layer, which is I think what I hoped it would be.
Mm-hmm.
I have used it successfully just with a detail pass, meaning like I would basically kind of a different way of sculpting, but it was really great for games, making like detailed normal maps. We did this at Naughty Dog, but basically you would sculpt a model without any details, any wrinkles, any pores, and kind of be, more like, I guess, like this would be if it was just smooth, like a really smooth, clean model, and then making a layer, putting all the detail on it, and then you would do a normal map between those two. You would do a general normal map, which would capture all the details, the bigger, primary and secondary form details, and then you would do a secondary normal map, which would just be the difference between the layer on and the layer off, and that would be just your details, and that would be a little higher res. But I haven't used them too much since then. I do use morph targets. I see JM from YouTube saying morph targets are nice. I use those a lot more. They're just, there's something about them. They're just kind of inconvenient. I have used them for like, what have I used them for? Certain features of a character, features or traits of a character that I would want to be there. generally not so much. I think it's also just part of the way that I like to work is it takes a little bit, it takes more self-control to use the layers, I think. Whereas I kind of like to bounce around a lot, and sometimes I end up, just like you would in Photoshop, like when you paint on the wrong layer,
Mm-hmm.
I would end up doing that a lot. Like, oh, I'm on the wrong layer, or I didn't turn the layer off. I always find that kind of frustrating. But this is something I like to do whenever I'm adding detail, is I'll come in, I'll do a first pass of the detail. So I've laid these kind of two different scale textures on each other. And then I'll come in with the damn standard brush at like a medium to high intensity. And I'll kind of just, zoom in. Kind of just like start picking out pieces. Or I'll enhance the sculpt, like I was just kind of adding some more wrinkles in here. And try to follow like whatever the existing patterns are that the scales have created or the details created. And then it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you go back and forth, you'll see like the difference between like, oh, there's all the little things you sculpted in, and it makes it feel more like it's actually there rather than just like a stamped model. So I do that quite a bit. Go in and either draw patterns or find patterns and try to enhance what was there. Somebody was talking about Rain of Fire. I feel like every time I work on this dragon, we talk about Rain of Fire.
I mean, there's not a lot of movies with good dragons.
It's true. It's one of them.
Yeah, because like even though Dragonheart, was a pretty iconic movie at the time and kind of a landmark CG movie.
Yeah.
I was never really a fan of the dragon, to be honest.
The dragon's not amazing.
Just looks kind of cartoony to me. But
the head.
Yeah, Rain of Fire is just it's very similar dragon styles to Dragon Slayer, like the sort of pointy nosed dragon head, as opposed to like the blunt sort of pug face that like the Dragonheart guy kind of has.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like Smog?
I like new Smog.
Yeah.
I don't love old Smog. Old Smog is just like a cat dragon.
Old Smog meaning like Ralph Bakshi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just I didn't like the face on it. I don't know. There was something weird about it. I like the new one though. The new one is very much kind of like this.
Yeah.
All right. Of course, and then I put on that mottled texture and it all goes away. I'll have to tone that down. I also made these scales at some point. I got to figure out what texture I used to get this shape. So I unfortunately didn't like save or make a note to myself of what texture I used.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go find it again. Sometimes when you're doing this, you have like almost like a recipe of like the textures you've layered up. Like, oh, this was the first one, and then the second, and the third. And I feel like I've lost my recipe. Like my cookbook is gone.
You said you're using the Aaron Sims alphas. Do you have other alpha packs that you use for creature stuff?
No, not really. I use mostly just these ones. Maybe this one.
Yeah, he made those for us
A while ago.
so long ago.
They're still good.
Oh yeah, I mean alphas are alphas.
Mm-hmm.
But now the stuff that's a texturing XYZ is pretty crazy.
Oh, that stuff's crazy. Yeah, the super, super high res stuff.
It's pretty amazing. Not cheap,
Mm-hmm.
but amazing.
Mm-mm. Definitely not cheap, but it is cool.
Hmm. But yeah, it's funny how like as new resources arise, then like how people use those resources, and you start to see the impact of it. Because
Mm.
seeing photoreal heads used to be with
Oh
like
yeah.
super high resolution skin detail was kind of something you didn't see people posting all that often
Mm-hmm.
5 years ago, and now you see it quite a bit, and it's really I think thanks to texturing XYZ and 3D Scan Store.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just one of the things where it's so accessible now, and that the workflows are easier,
Uh,
and the shaders are great now too. Like the ability to set up a lighting and the shading is so much faster.
mm-hmm.
Or even like they'll have a default shader which is solid, so you don't have to like build it from scratch every time.
Yeah, I mean skin shaders back in the day, meaning like 15 years ago, and used to require so many cheats to try and get it to look correct from a subsurface perspective before subsurface shaders existed. That was really tedious.
Yeah. Nice way for scale detail is lightbox painting them on with the nudge feature. Not sure about the lightbox part, but I've definitely painted or used the nudge feature quite a bit, or the nudge brush. The nudge brush is one that I go to every now and then, and I always am like, why am I not using this more? Because it just like drags the detail on the model. You're saying you mean spotlight? Gotcha.
Spotlight, there you go.
Maybe I was trying to break this up.
Texturing meant going hunting with your camera back in the day, for sure. I did a
Yeah.
lot of that on cloudy days,
Yeah.
which in LA, it's pretty sunny here. So finding cloudy days to
Yeah.
go grab textures was
It's like
kind
it's
of like,
cloudy.
oh,
Let's
it's
go.
cloudy.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely done a lot of that, which is cool. It's fun to
Mm-hmm.
go grab textures. And then obviously photogrammetry became a new reason to go outside and grab stuff where, again, you want cloudy days.
Mm-hmm. It's funny though. It's just the texturing resources now are so much crazier, from XYZ to Megascans to all the other things that are out there.
Hmm.
To
I mean,
to
as it
kind of
should be. In the end, it's like,
oh yeah.
I think we're at the point now where if people want specific things, like I need steel, I need carpet, I need skin, I need whatever, like to have that not slow you down as much as it used to is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Scanning the comments. Aquarius asked if we've used Speedcut and Maya's bonus tools. Looks like an awesome solution for booleans. I have not.
I have not yet.
But did you see? You follow what's his name, Geo?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see his post he made like recently about that new Adobe
The
Boolean
truck one?
modeler? Yeah, the truck one.
Yeah, that looked cool.
Yeah, it
Looked
looks
really
really
cool.
cool.
I was very curious. Like that's interesting. And it was partially in VR, but not all made in VR.
I think it's will support both.
Interesting.
So VR sculpting, modeling, as well as desktop.
I think that's what interests me more, is that there's a possibility that you can get the benefits of what those VR tools are outside of VR. VR's cool. I just don't want to be in a headset all the time. So if there was a way to get that program outside of it, that'd be amazing.
It was a plugin, but got integrated.
Hmm.
Cool. Foffy Scrimshaw says VR gives them a headache. Yeah, a lot of people have bad reactions to that.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I don't get headaches from it, but after an hour, I definitely find it to be kind of tiring.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. Just the exhaustion of it.
Aquarius has 5 inches of snow where they are right now.
Oh
Jeez.
boy.
And I was complaining about it being cold in LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jared Shiflett. What's up, sir?
What's up, Jared?
Mr. Amazing Sculptor.
Mm-hmm.
It made me miss Comic-Con, seeing
Yeah.
Jared's name. Just walking around booths and seeing cool stuff. There was just a Comic-Con, though, in San Diego, like
Yeah,
a
like a
mini one
small
recently.
one.
Yeah.
Over Thanksgiving or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were like trying it out or something like that.
Didn't really follow it, so I wasn't even aware that it was happening until I started seeing people post about it. So,
Same.
um,
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it either. Dragon Con is back. I heard Monster Palooza's coming back.
yeah, that's another one that is always super, super cool.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
looked at it once, but I enjoyed it. Maybe like some
Jared,
this.
cool, thanks.
Jared, have you ever gotten into ZBrush or digital sculpting at all? I know you guys are still doing it in clay, which is amazing. Your stuff is incredible. Just curious.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of their kits that I got from their booth at Comic-Con a few years ago, like on the shelf in my office at home, and walk by them every day. Although I have to reglue one of them. I used the wrong glue on it, and just like arms falling off.
Maybe someday. Well, I'll be watching. I'm curious. I saw, I think we talked about this before, but Simon Lee's been doing some stuff in ZBrush recently, which is cool. I love that he's keeping his same style.
Mm-hmm.
Like it still totally translates.
I'm just gonna open my window because it's getting warm in here with my heater on. Be right back.
No worries. Yeah, you can totally see it's his work. Yeah, absolutely. He still has that looseness. It's very dynamic. Is that what I think it is?
Finally.
It's unreal. It's alive.
Jeez.
There you go.
Note to self.
Yeah.
It's like launch. If I change locations, launch it when I arrive. Oh, at least it's working now. Did ZBrush just crash on you? Oh.
No, it just gets slow sometimes. You got to give it a minute.
Aquarius. Unreal did take its time settling in. But again, now that this project is loaded, if I quit Unreal right now and like reloaded it, it would launch real fast. It's just how it goes. So.
Mm-hmm. So how many levels do you have in that scene?
In the project?
Yeah, like how many environments have you created?
The ones that I've done on, let's see, that's a static mesh. There's only 6 levels in here,
Okay.
but it's 6 different environments. So like I've just loaded in random stuff. So I think it's yeah. So like you see how quick like this one loaded. So that's the thing, is that like when I load the project, it's loading in. Oh wait, I need to switch to the sequencer for this one. When I load the project, it's loading in all the levels and all of the textures and all of the distance fields and all of the nanite meshes that are in all of them. And so that's where, so like it's on the one hand cool to do it that way, to all be in one project, but then on the other hand, I get that issue if I switch computers.
Yeah, it takes you an hour to load it up.
So let's go back to the other level. And then back to sequences. Level 6, shot 1. All right. I believe I lost half the stream to just loading a project. Because I was just going to make a new level in this project and start from scratch, but now I've got an hour left, which is like, what am I going to do in an hour?
Yeah, still start, I suppose.
I can always just do set up another shot in here. Aquarius. Those fires are loops that are on cards. So you can see, if I select one, root. Let's see. Well, they're actually loops that are on sprites. So if I find, there we go, there's one. And those fires are made with Embergen, which is a program I've used on the stream, but I did not make these loops. But if you download Embergen, it has a built-in flipbook exporter, so you can make fires and smoke and stuff in Embergen, export a flipbook, and then bring these in to Unreal. So that's how they're made. So obviously they look great if they're in the distance. They look great if they're out of focus due to depth of field. Obviously, if we're super close to them, I mean, I'm pretty close to them in this other shot. Oh wait, I have to switch that. Or because they're kind of out of focus, because we're focusing on the near ground, so you can kind of get away with it. So, and they're really efficient because there's no actual particle system in the scene or anything. So yeah, I found these. It's called like Realistic Fire Effects Pack or something on Marketplace. So I grabbed them from there, but they would actually be really easy to make using Embergen. Yeah, making fires like this in Unreal would be tricky because there is fluid for my purposes, because since I'm using Sequencer to render out movies, Fluid Ninja, which is a really cool tool you can get on Marketplace for doing fire and smoke, currently doesn't support Sequencer and exporting movies.
Oh, really?
That's kind of the coolest thing. Yeah, so that's the coolest thing I've seen so far for doing that kind of stuff in Engine. It's primarily a tool for games. Embergen is so user-friendly compared to, let's say, like Niagara.
It's just so fast, too, to be able to visualize.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch us up to this one. What do you want? You want this one? Or
Probably,
this one?
since my composition
this
is...
one?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So this is going to be another sequence. So
Yeah, I played with Evergym a little bit when I was in the Fellowship, and I was really impressed with it. Just how easy it was to start making something. Especially, you could also take apart the presets, which is cool.
yeah, no, it's super awesome. Level 6 shop 2. Okay.
Will you guys implement the dragon into the scene? Oh, okay. Um, that definitely wasn't the plan.
But they would fit.
Yeah, they would. It's not that they wouldn't fit. So is everything in your scene Nanite? Like as far as geometry?
As far as rocks and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Because now anything that you would import from Megascans, you just choose nanite.
Right.
And so, which obviously means, well, the file gets huge because you have heavy geo and 8K textures on everything. The performance is fine once it's loaded.
Right. It just takes a while to load.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's good once it's loaded. I saw some articles that what was it? That Fortnite was going into Unreal 5 or something like that.
I mean, obviously, it seems like it would eventually, but meaning soon?
Yeah, I saw some things saying that it was the next patch was supposed to have it in Unreal 5, but it was just some
Really?
Google News that I was getting served, and I don't know if it's true, but I'd be curious if it was. Just how quick that would be. Since it's still in beta.
I mean, it's pretty stable. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does seem stable, like you were saying, and Aaron was saying, and most people I've talked to say it seems.
it's the issue. There's a bug flying around. The issue is not that I've found isn't stability. It's just that there's certain things that aren't working right. It's still stable. You just don't, like foliage actors don't contribute to the lumen scene. Landscape actors don't contribute to the lumen scene. Displacement maps aren't working, or they're deprecated. They're called deprecated even in 4, but they still work. So the fact that you can't even use them at all is a little frustrating.
Yeah, for sure. Aquarius Jump Node says, you have a question for me. What are the advantages of ZBrush over Maya for hard surfaces that you prefer to use, not including concepting? One of the advantages for doing hard surface in ZBrush is it's pretty fast. If you're using, some of the panel loops techniques or anything like that, it is quick. So I think that's one of the other things. Also, you can make, if you're booleaning, well, also you have to be specific. If your geometry topology doesn't really matter, it's really great because you can just boolean something or do live booleans, and a lot of the features that you get with it are so much faster, I think, than your average modeling package. And the shapes that you can create, a complicated shape that may take you 20 minutes to make in Maya may take you 5 minutes to make in ZBrush. And if it's something that doesn't really need to be have nice, beautiful topology, then I don't really see like a reason why you would spend all your time modeling it nicely with nice edge flow. That's probably like how you would have to make that shape if you were in another program. So I guess the difference, or the thing that I see, is just that it's fast. It's fast, and it's got some cool features, and it's going to let you do some things that are harder to do in a traditional package. So hopefully that answers the question. And a lot of modelers, sculptors talk about speed and how important speed is or is not important depending on who you are. But like, that's where I think that stuff is just so much faster. I would say in Maya, the difference, the upsides of using a Maya is the amount of control you're going to have is going to be significantly more. What I mean by that is like the edge, the bevel, the size and shape of a bevel, how much control you have over that, and how well you can integrate that shape into other forms, and like the actual precision you have over your forms is going to be leaps and bounds, I think, ahead in a traditional package. Doesn't necessarily have to be a Maya, but it can be any modeling, standard modeling, polygon modeling program. You have a lot more precision than you would in a ZBrush. I mean, sliding edges and doing stuff like that is not very easy or even really possible in ZBrush. So just being able, if you need like ultimate precision, excellent topology, really good deformable topology, I wouldn't necessarily use ZModeler for that kind of stuff. Oh, it's this one.
Marimba.
I just can't handle that one. Is there anything that you would use Maya specifically for your hard surfaces, except for base meshes? I still have done a good amount of poly modeling in Maya, even after using a lot of these tools. People looking at my portfolio often will ask me if or how much of my Iron Man stuff was done in ZBrush, and the answer is almost none of it. So to make a character like that, where you want to be incredibly precise about what the shapes are and what the forms are, in my opinion, it's, especially if you want to get to a very specific detail level, and you want to maybe hand it off, or you want to do it for VFX, I think you're going to have to poly model it at some point. I mean, if you can Boolean stuff, that's a really great way to do that type of work, right? But I didn't use any Booleans on Iron Man stuff, for example. Not that I couldn't have, I just, Booleans weren't needed for the shapes I was trying to make.
I forget that I have a microphone next to my mouth when I'm chewing gum. Tell me if it's annoying.
I didn't hear it.
You don't hear it? Okay, good.
No. Live
Sometimes
Booleans are excellent. Huh?
Live Booleans are excellent.
Yeah, they're really good. The ZBrush Live Boolean is really, really good. It's just so fast. There's not really a way to like beat around that. It's just really, really fast. So it's kind of cool to be able to do it that quick. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to mask the top and the bottom of this thing.
It's funny that damn marimba melody is still in my head. Like a virus.
Yeah, it's in there. Once it's in there, you're like, It's the one that as soon as I hear it, I'm like, There's very few songs where I can't let it get in my brain. But that's one of them. Aquarius, you're saying you still prefer modeling the end result. Sometimes I do too. There's a certain element of it to me that is just a different process, and it's kind of it's a very zen thing for me. It's just like get in the mindset of just it's time to sculpt or it's time to model now, or retop used to be something that I would hear a lot of modelers complain about, and for me it was never really that. I always just saw it as another part of the extension of the modeling process, I guess. But I know it was not a lot of people's favorite part. We were talking to Gnomon students when they were learning about. I was teaching character modeling for a while, and teaching them retop. They were all so annoyed. Just having I have to model this character now after I've sculpted it. I'm like, yep, but why? Well, it's just the process. I would need to spend time integrating that. Songs get stuck in your head. They're there for a couple weeks. I've definitely had that where it's like I'm listening or hearing the same song in my head for a very long time. I now avoid those songs like the plague.
Exactly.
As soon as I hear it, I'm like, nope, 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 nope. I heard that one of the ways to get a song out of your head is you have to listen to the whole thing. You have to let it complete. That's what somebody told me. I feel like that's a dangerous.
I think that's a horrible idea. I think that person doesn't like you.
They're like, no, just listen to it. Trust me, it'll fix it.
They for sure were messing with your head. Armando's asking about classes at Gnomon since their employer will reimburse.
Hmm.
3D character related courses. Well, there's Jared's class.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's the character class, the creature class, really are like the two main ones. But then anything with Tran.
Yeah.
Tran is
Oh,
amazing, Tran Ma. So I think, and she's not necessarily teaching a class called character, but she teaches, I don't know which texture section, if it's texture 4. But she gets into Mari and like her sort of high res character texturing workflow.
yeah. It's either 3 or 4. 2, 3, or 4. I think it's 3 or 4. I don't know off the top of my head. Is Mari the ZBrush of texturing? Oh, interesting. Not necessarily. Mari's really great at photo projection, texturing, and really a lot of really high res texture, so multiple texture sets. That's what it's really good at. Yeah, a lot of other people like Substance Painter, which is also another great one. So I think you kind of see people dividing into camps of ones that they like to use. But
Yeah, for film, it seems like Mari is,
Yeah.
for high res texturing where you might need multiple UDIMs with tons of 8K, 16K maps all over a mesh, then that's Mari. That seems to be like the spot in the market that it dominates.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're modeling a single asset with a single 8K texture for the whole asset, where all of the UVs are packed into a single texture sheet, then those people seem to be really into Substance Painter.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything, though, everything has pros and cons. So, like, there's a lot of really cool things about Substance, and there's a lot of really cool things about Mari. Pretty sure that Mari is what, like, Tran swears by for texturing characters.
I think so.
Mari has procedural stuff as well, but it doesn't have an engine like Substance Designer behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But Mari is also a lot more expensive than Substance, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah. I don't know off the top of my head, but I believe it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to focus, the best thing with software, because every program is good at something. And and you should never learn software just for the sake of learning software. You should have a very good reason for learning it, because you have a very specific project you need to use it for, which could be for work or for, your student reel. So, if you're intent on working in film and you want to work as a texture artist at ILM or Weta, then I would probably learn Mari and learn UDIM workflows. But if that's not your intent, then you'd probably be fine with a program like Substance. Well, I've definitely used Mari before and liked it. It's cool, but I used it for a very specific thing where I needed to work on 16K textures, and Mari was the only thing that would let me texture with 16K textures at the time. These days I would assume Substance allows you to work with 16K or even 32K textures. Um, but I don't know. Because Mari, I assume, probably goes up to 32K now.
Probably.
Yeah, Mari supports 32K textures. But Substance, I don't know. Substance, 32K textures. So somebody asked in July of this year. The answer from an Adobe employee was 8K is the maximum you want to go with.
In Substance.
And they're saying for high-end assets in the VFX industry, you typically split your textures into 4K or 8K UDIMs for efficiency, which is true. So, but basically, that's what they're saying. So, and it's true. Generally, people will go into UDIMs just because having 32K textures is massive. But there's a convenience to having just a massive texture as opposed to cutting things into a million UDIMs.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have a million UDIMs, it just makes shader setup more involved.
Mm-hmm. you ever wondered why takes so long to sculpt one of these things, is like just sections like this. It's like, oh, this is looking alright. I like how this is looking. You know, this is what the pattern's gonna be here. Cool. Now I just need to do that same pattern all across this piece. Oh, okay, cool. Too much tension in the music. I feel like it fits Alex's scene pretty well, though.
That is true.
With that guy just looking over the horizon. I definitely feel like you need some, like, characters in those scenes that are like fantasy characters or something like that. Cool.
Yes, I know. That is something that eventually need more characters to use. But I can always stick one of your characters in one of my scenes. You just need to get one of them textured.
I actually just need to finish it. Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe we'll do some of the archetype ones. Those ones would be more finished.
That would be awesome. And then get them rigged, and then set up a control rig.
Yeah, exactly. I'll let you take care of that part. Emmanuel, what's up, man?
Hello, sir.
Smaller characters, the better. Gives environment a more epic scale. Definitely helps. Like I like in like concept art, it's like the classic person with a stick. He's got somebody with a walking staff. So many scales.
I know. I was like, why won't Unreal let me pick anything? And it's because I have this big fog card that's like kind of like right near it.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I try and click into the scene, I'm selecting that frickin' fog card.
The card. It's annoying.
I wonder if you can set something as being like non-selectable.
That's a good question.
Google.
I'm sure there is a way.
Let's see. Somebody has definitely asked this question. People are saying they also have the question. Right click an object, transform, check the box for lock actor movement.
That sounds
It
promising.
allows it to be selected but not moved. That's not what I want.
Nope.
So many people. This is going back over 3 years with all these people bumping the request. I guess there isn't. Oh, wait, because like in
No,
Maya, you just put something on a layer and set it as like reference,
right.
and then you can see it, but you can't pick it. So many
Maybe
people
they're just
request.
saying, nope.
It's March 2020, and this is still an issue. Somebody else. I requested the same feature 5 years ago. I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, it's December 2021. It's not happening.
Next person. What's even the point? No one reads this. And then back in June, somebody was like, hello, everyone. I solved this problem with the plugin.
Oh, there you go.
Freezer and code plugins, UE Marketplace.
Oh, there you
All
go.
right. So somebody made a plugin to allow you to do this. And then there's no comments or questions after that post.
How much does it? And here's the question.
$10.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're charging for that. Are they?
It's got 5 stars from 7 people.
Okay.
Came out in June of this year.
You had a bunch of people asking for it. Might as well charge
And
for
all
it.
of these people that are just so happy. This person, nice plugin. It saves my nerves.
I love that, like the reading reviews, like some of the ridiculous Amazon reviews are so good.
Dude, I'm not gonna buy a $10 plugin.
Well, I mean, fine, you deal with that fog card in your way.
God damn it! Look, I mean, it's like I can't see. Like if I click, it doesn't select the ground or the dude. It's just selecting something. What's it selecting? This big fog card. Well, I've got an answer. Hide the fog card. Boom.
There you go.
Will I remember to make it visible again? Well, the thing that doesn't matter is that fog card will be visible again because there's no true hiding visibility in Unreal.
Right.
Like when you make something invisible, it's still going to reappear later if you render or reopen the scene or reopen the level, which is so weird.
It is weird, yeah.
I don't remember what I was doing. I was placing a rock.
You were struggling too because of your fog card.
Sir Saito, one question for work in other countries. In situations where you don't need a green card, the government will sometimes require a diploma to work in there. To work in countries where you don't need a green card, the government will sometimes require a diploma. Not sure I follow the question. Chris, lock the fog card as a layer somehow.
Somehow.
Exactly. Like in Maya, you can do that. Just, I guess, not in Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Saito, if you're asking about like the visa and work thing, then yeah, basically it's easier to get a green card if you have a degree. In the United
Yes.
States, I think other countries is similar. I've heard, like if you want to work in Europe or whatever, that it's a similar issue. So yeah, I think that yeah, if Americans want to work in Canada, the way to get around that degree thing is to have a lot of work experience. If you have a lot of work experience, then you don't necessarily need a degree to get a work visa because your work experience can allow you to qualify for a different type of visa. So an O1 visa in the United States allows you to get a work visa without having a college degree. But an H1 visa, you need to have a degree.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a whole bunch of work experience, like you've been working for 10 years and you've done well, you've won some awards, you've been a judge on a jury, there's all these different things they look for, then the degree thing is less of an issue. So I would never say that like you definitely need to have a degree.
No.
It just depends on your situation. So, Gnomon we have the 2-year program, the vocational program, which is non-degree, which is what was like a first full-time program. And then we added the degree more recently, meaning like 4 years ago. And part of why we added the degree was because of what I've just been saying, is that for junior artists, which is what Gnomon is producing, it was hindering the ability from some graduates to be able to work in the United States from the 2 years. So it's like, it depends where you want to work.
Trying to think of what I could do to not have to show off the whole character.
What do you mean?
Pose-wise. Like, if I don't want to have to show. I don't want to have to sculpt all this in the back right now. So like maybe I can. Do something where the wings are blocking it. What the hell? What is this?
What happened?
I'm
Mask?
trying to do like a rotation, and I don't think it's a mask. It's just going the wrong direction. It's
Really?
like
That's weird.
I've never been able to move it one way, but not the other way. It's only when I do this type of a rotation that's really odd. It's interesting looking, but it's definitely not intentional. I'll figure that out later, I guess. I'm sure that would look interesting, though. Start there. Yeah, something going weird there. I'm not entirely sure what it was. But it did not like whatever I was trying to do. Not at all.
This song is putting me in slow motion.
The wind, like this little countdown, wind down vibe, I don't know.
Why does Maya take so long to launch?
It does take a long time. Why is that?
Oh, that's annoying. What was that?
I had a glitch. That was weird.
Glitch?
Yeah, just I disappeared for a half sec.
That was weird. How's your internet then now that you have a lot proper?
Good, except for I've had a couple of those moments where, like, after being on stream for a little while, it'll just be like, "You're gone." Oh, but you're back.
Huh.
And then otherwise, I have no issues. So
That's
not too
at least
bad, but not
at least
amazing.
it's a little better.
Yeah. But generally, it's actually much better, which is good. All right. It is 6:01.
Really?
It is. It's true.
All right. Well, yeah. I guess I have learned to not open a Unreal project right at the beginning of a stream.
Well, not
Oh,
when you're
well.
not open before. That's all right.
Not on this computer, yeah. So all I've got is just a new little composition in this little world.
I dig it, though.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Just another dude looking off in the distance. Yeah, he's the only character model I have in this project, so
Makes sense.
there you go.
Cool. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining the stream today, for hanging out with us for a little while. I don't know if we mentioned this at the top. We should have, though. We have a new sponsor for this stream. Lenovo is sponsoring this stream. Did we say that?
We did
I don't
not.
remember. Yeah, thank you to Lenovo for sponsoring this stream. They're also sponsoring our archetype streams, our creature corner streams, and our event streams, which we'll be having one tomorrow in the afternoon. I believe it's at noon, I think, when the creation of Ardman's Robin project, which is on Netflix. So we'll be having that one, which is awesome.
Very cool.
So we'll be having that. So if you're hanging out with us now, feel free to like, subscribe our channel. Make sure you turn on notifications, and you'll be sent emails whenever we do events like this, streams like this, or other events that we'll be having tomorrow. So thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your week. And we'll see you all soon.
All right.
Bye.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.